got your Augusta green on. Hi, Karen. How are you? What do you want a rundown on, Karen?
Injured players.
Out for the game would be Anthony Jennings, Keon White, Jalen Hawkins, and Antonio Gibson. Questionable will be Christian Gonzalez, Mapu, and Charles Woods.
Can you clarify, Christian wasn't on the injury report last week. Did he suffer some kind of a setback?
Christian will be questionable for the game. We'll continue to monitor him and see where that goes, and try to make a decision at 10:30 Central Time, 90 minutes before the game. So that's where we're at, and we'll have to have a plan if he doesn't go, and we'll have a plan if he does go, just like everybody else.
Was he a full participant today?
I don't know the particulars. I just write down the designation. That'll be out. The participation will be out shortly. I don't want to misspeak. I just give you the designation for the game. I don't want to say limited or full and have it not be one of those two.
So is that workload for him more Jim Whalen's department? Like how much of that decision is on your plate, limited versus full?
Well, it's on my plate, but how it goes in, there's different tempos on a Friday, right? We've got some speed periods and some jog through periods, and so by the rules, I would say that by the letter of the law, you have to list, if it's every single thing and every single rep, then it's full, right? So maybe he took one less than he took last Friday. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be funny here. We're going to monitor and see how he feels, and if he's 100, feels good to go and confident, which I hope that he is, then he's going to play in the game, and we're going to, But I just don't want to say he was limited or he was full, and then you guys be like, well, you were not speaking truthfully.
Is there a reason why you didn't put Antonio on IR yet? Is that procedural?
That's procedural. Yeah.
Mike, how would you assess your safety depth?
We have 4 of them now. We went from 5 to 4.
How do you feel about the group?
Good. I think they're prepared. I think they're ready to go. They've all been practicing and preparing and feel good about any of those guys, from, Dell playing or Schooler playing. Those guys are working hard, and we've got some guys that have improved through the show team. Like I really like the way that we've practiced on Thursdays. I know we don't have thigh pads or knee pads in, Mike, but those have been physical, fast practices, and guys have improved. And that's what I'm proud of. Our linemen have improved, our young linemen, our practice squad linemen. And so those guys are we want to try to make it as similar as possible. Just talking to Alex Austin about, hey, this is the technique. Just put it in our terms. I don't care what the card says. Just do it like this and do it, and go play and practice.
And I was thinking about, I'm glad there's not thigh pads because you can't cut in practice. So I'm like,
well, you can't cut in the game outside the tackle box too. So we never want to do that. We never want to do that, especially in practice. It's hard to cut. It's hard to cut these days. It takes a skilled player to do that in the box. A center, D linemen are hard to cut these days. Just the way they're athletic, their length. It's sometimes you just end up belly flopping, and so that's a hard block. And Will's done a decent job out there on the edge sometimes, but other than that, it's just not in the game as much as it used to be.
I don't know when these decisions are made, but running back or outside linebacker coming off the practice squad this week for depth.
Yeah, we'll have to bring up a couple guys. We'll release that here this afternoon.
Mike, on a week like this, where you kind of know you have a few names on the injury report, does the workload for the show team change at all? Do you change the way you manage the show team, knowing that they might have to go on Sunday?
Well, they're going to get reps, and then everybody has to be available to work those show teams. And we look out there, and there's guys that play for us on defense that are giving a look. There's guys on offense, that are giving us a look, and we appreciate that. So that's it's going to be all hands on deck, and then the guys potentially on the practice squad will get reps and work with the offense or defense.
You mentioned Brendan Schooler getting some reps on defense. What was it about his skill set that you liked in that role, and was that a game plan thing, or could you see him taking on more responsibilities?
Well, that was probably a game plan thing, and then we'll see where, it goes this week as it relates to normal downs and distances. But, he's long, he can run, he's a good tackler, and has a great play style.
How's Braden Swinson done on the show team?
Improving. I know, Smitty talked about him, and I think he's really tried to take the last, call it 5 or 6 weeks, and really, just understand what the demands are for this level in this league is, about taking care of your body and training and continuing to develop as a young player, and just all the other little details, and then practicing hard and working and develop it as a fourth down player as well, trying to practice that.
Mike, you had Vidarian Lowe kind of serve as that sixth offensive lineman at times with jungle personnel. What are you seeing from him, and do you feel like that's something you're going to continue kind of utilizing this season?
Yeah, we'll see, how it goes in the game plan. But, the further you get out there away from the football, little things come up, and, he's done a nice job for us, and whether that be on the goal line or, different situations. So, he worked hard. He didn't have much of an off season, and he did. He worked hard to get back and be, work in training camp and get into the games and, allow him to be evaluated. So, I felt like he's done a good job. He's done everything that we've asked him to do.
When it comes to the kickoff returns from Andre replacing Gibby there, is that an expectation still?
We'll see where it goes on Sunday. We've got guys that have all worked back there. And again, we just try to have to get something out of that unit. But Ramondre can fill in, and some different skill players.
Mike, at least by success rate and yards per play, your blitz effectiveness just gotten better each of the last 4 weeks. Do you see any commonalities there? What's driving that?
I probably, maybe it's just too soon to tell as far as just the numbers, and, a lot of it is the timing and situational. A lot of times it's who you send. It's not so much the blitz, it's the blitzee and who's going and who's impacting. And so I think we want to just pick and choose our spots and try to improve our disguise and all those different things that we can do when we send somebody.
How was Truman Jones developed behind the scenes?
I think, I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I would say that Truman's close to the list if I had one. He's an extremely hard worker. I would say that every time we have a show player of the week on, the offense or special teams, I would say that he's probably been one of those two, and if not both, throughout the year. And so he's done a nice job. He prepares as a starter each and every week.
Evidence of grand jury decided to bring Sharp.
Grand jury. And, I just think he's continuing to develop, and we'd be comfortable if we had to play him.
I imagine your fondest memory of the Superdome is probably February of 2002, but anything else about that building stand out for you, either as a coach or a player?
Yeah, I thought a really, really special moment for me was a few years ago on opening day. We were able to get Tim Shaw down from Tennessee, who's a former player, with Steve Gleason, a former player, and both of them, fighting an awful, terrible disease, of ALS, and just seeing what those two players were and what they looked like and how that deteriorated their body. I got to see that frequently with Tim coming into our building and being around, and it was really cool to have them down there for that game. And I think we'll always remember Steve blocking that punt after Katrina, and just watching on TV and getting chills, and the reaction from the fans. And they're passionate fans down there. It's fun to go down there and see their family, their culture, and how they support that football team. So, that was something that we came up with, and Dennis Allen was great about it, and having those guys be an honorary captain for that game. So that was outside of Super Bowl. That was cool, and fortunately we lost the game, but it was two great players that are now fighting a disease. Thank you.
Thank you.